Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV. My name's Bernie Weemers. We're here tonight to start Season 2 of the SEK Queensland GT series. Tonight we're coming to you live from Monza and we'll be watching the Monza 400. So I'd like to welcome to the commentary box Adrian Jarvis and Scott Stevens. So how you going, boys?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Bernie.
Yeah, not too bad, Bernie. Not too bad.
Fantastic. So we're having a look at Monza at the moment. I had a drive around here earlier today, and I must say it reminded me a little of Zolder, not in the tightness, but in the really fast-flowing circuit, broken up by a lot of these, well, in this case we've got 3 sharp chicanes. So what were your thoughts about Monza, guys?
Generally, most people would probably know the track for the Formula One cars, but pretty some good long straights and mixed up with some pretty tight chicanes where I did some laps this afternoon myself, Bernie and Adrian, in all of the 4 cars that are available to any of the teams. And found the track to be really, really nice to drive. The chicanes are really great, and how you get out of the chicanes I think is going to be all important for your lap time, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think the way I think it's going to be where you brake and how you can get through those chicanes and out the other side is going to make a big difference. But having a look at the track tonight, folks, the track length is 5.79 kilometres. Race distance tonight is 70 laps or 400 kilometres. They, I think, roughly it's going to be 1 to 2 pit stops. From having a look at how long it's going to run. I think it'll be 2 myself. Fast repairs tonight are 2. The interesting thing here is the drivers required can be anywhere from 1 to 3. So we may see some guys going solo in this and probably other teams putting in 2 drivers. The start will be rolling. Having a look at the weather out there tonight, folks, air temperature's down at 24 degrees Celsius, but it's got a fairly high track temp of 39 degrees Celsius, and they've got a northerly to northwesterly wind blowing up to 11 kilometres per hour. So before we get into further discussion, I've got a hot lap here, guys, which I will let you watch. So enjoy. Hi there folks, welcome to tonight's broadcast. We're currently in the Redback Racing BMW Z4 at Monza tonight for the SEK Queensland GT3 Endurance Series. So I'm going to give you a bit of a run around this track. We're using the Grand Prix configuration tonight, and the guys will be doing 70 laps around this great circuit. So a little bit about Monza. 5.79 kilometres in length. We're using the modern GP layout and 11 turns. So a bit about the track. It was formed in 1920 and we've pretty much had a Grand Prix here every single year since it started, apart from one. So it's an iconic track, and it's quite a fast track, as you'll see. So let's get going around and have a hot lap around Monza. So coming onto the main straight now. This track will probably spend about 80% of the time on full throttle around here, I think. It's extremely fast. So heavy under the brakes here, into the first chicane. Really tight through here, I can't see many passing. Flat on the gas again. Pretty much hold it flat out through this part of the circuit. In a way, this track reminds me a bit of Zolder, from the fast parts to the heavy braking into chicanes to break down the speed. very much like Zolder, not as tight as Zolder, a lot faster in fact. Down to third through here. We're at the top of the circuit here, 290 degree bends. Back again to third. Flat out again now onto this big straight. So, as always, Monza's made up of 4 really big straights, 3 sharp chicanes. This one's not too bad. Under the bridge. Onto the brakes here. Down to third. To fourth, flat out there. Don't even need to lift in the BMW. Now we're back onto the back straight here. Up here we have a right-hander. It's sharp on entry and it loosens. So down to maybe even third there, really tight, but then it widens out here, flat out now, straight onto the main straight. So as you can see, probably 80-90% of the time, full throttle, which means the guys are going to definitely going to chew through the fuel here tonight. So it'll be rather interesting to see how they stop. So anyway, that is a lap around Monza. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the broadcast tonight. So thanks for watching. So that was a lap around Monza, folks. So while we're waiting for, we've got, 3 minutes to go till the race starts. Scott, we were having a discussion a bit earlier tonight about the changes to the series. Did you want to take the viewers through that?
Yeah, sure, Bernie. So a lot of the last season's viewers would have known the SEK to be broken up over a sprint and endurance series, and the same's happened this year, but it's been kind of broken up into 2 different series. So as Bernie mentioned before, round 1, we've got 400-kilometre endurance event at the Monza track. Now, the thing with this is, the biggest changes you'll see is you have the option of doing driver swaps within the endurance event, or you can have a minimum driver required is 1. So you must drive your fair share, and the iRace for Fun guys have also got this set up for realistic weather. So that's also good to see. You're starting from pole, so pole position winner will get a bonus of 5 points. And into the sprint series, it will require 2 drivers minimum per car, where driver A will be qualifying and they will be racing in race 1, and driver B will qualify and will be racing in race 2. So with the 2 races held in the sprint format, each race will be recorded with only half points. So to work together as a team and get the best out of the point situation, you really need to have strong results in both of the races of the sprint rounds. So the other good thing as well, we were looking at about 30 teams, a few new teams in there. I've seen, I'm not sure about this, guys, and you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but Element Motorsport, I believe they're a new team. And obviously got a few returning teams as well, such as the Evolution Racing, Black Adder, KRF Motorsports, Selby I see have gone to a two-car team as well, and Direct Clutch Motorsports, along with a few others as well. So the series has definitely expanded, and Gavin and the guys at iRace for Fun have definitely mixed it up. Which is good to see, and it looks like a very exciting series going forward.
Yeah, it certainly does. I'm especially excited to see how this series goes with the sprint rounds involved in it. Okay, folks. Well, we're getting ready to grid, so we'll go through the grid now as we go. So in pole at the moment, we've got Gary Hamilton with a 1:48.019, followed by Marcelo Rivera in the Darrell Lee McLaren with a 1:48.3. Christopher Osborne in third, Ian McMahon fourth, Timothy Schweck in the Rossman's Rough has qualified in fifth position. Sixth is Adrian Newton. Seventh is Jay Alderton. We've got Chris Challoner in eighth. Ninth, James Keane. 10th is Aaron Osborne. 11th is H. Burns. Lance Hawes 12. S. Tamlin 13th. Brett Garitas 14th. Paul Mansell 15th. 16th is Guy Leach, 17th Paul Feely, Richard Brookfield in 18th, Terry Marwood in 19th, and Daniel Ackland is in 20th. 21st Paul Rogers, Trevor Forster 22nd, 23rd Kurt Metcalf, 24 G Colgan, and I think that's Craig Dorr in 25th. 26 Nathan Britton, and rounding out a field of 27 cars is Zed Schorler. So it's an interesting mix out there, guys. We've got a lot of roughs and McLarens, well, a few McLarens and BMWs out there tonight.
Yeah, Bernie, it looks like the rough is the car of choice at the moment in this new update for iRacing. Feeling a lot of roughs out there and very few other makes out there at the moment.
Yeah, I was beginning to think, Scott, that we might have been viewing the Rough Cup out there tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of looking that way a little bit. But look, when I took the cars out for a bit of a spin this afternoon, I noticed that the BMW was going to require a lot of work to get it up to the pace of the Rough and the McLaren. So the Rough definitely seems to have a nice flow and ease of drive throughout the chicane sections. But in the series, they're only able to run a 75% tank, fuel tank. So it'd be interesting to see what the cars are like on fuel throughout the race. And I know for a fact that in the BMW that you can actually trim your fuel mapping. So maybe some of the guys will use that to their advantage throughout the series.
Yeah, definitely. And I've solved our Element Motorsports query. That's actually Gary Hamilton in that car. So I'm not sure if that's replacing the 3C's craft beer entry they had last season, but all the same, that car looks quite nice. So folks, we're coming around the final corner now. The pace car will come in at that time. Gary Hamilton, our pole position winner, will take control of the race. So they're coming down now. The number 25 is right next to the Gary Hamilton as they're coming under, and we are green now, folks. So Gary Hamilton gets quite a good jump on the rest of that field as they come into this first chicane. So let's hope they get through as they coming in 3 wide behind him. This is interesting, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely a corner to be involved in a lot of wrecks here, and there we go. The Schweck boys are in and the Shelby car there, Bernie.
Yeah, I heard a bang behind us there, and it looks like that was Christopher Osborne and Craig Dorr. Daniel Ackland's involved in that. We'll just let this settle down, folks, and we'll jump back and see exactly what occurred in that first chicane. But I must say, Scott, I'm not surprised there was an incident there, because that's a really tight chicane for the guys to come into.
Yeah, it's got a flying entry kind of that tightens up on exit. So the second part of the actual chicane is the tightest part, and trying to get through there too wide. I mean, yeah, probably somebody should have backed out, and I was up in the chopper and unfortunately missed it in the trees. But yeah, it's look, they've got through and they've been able to continue by the looks of things, and relatively clean start other than that.
Okay, we'll jump back and we'll have a look at this replay, folks. So
Justin at the moment, he's got a little bit of damage there, Bernie, on his number 90 rough there. He was one of the cars involved there, down on the right-hand side. So it's got a little bit of damage, but haven't seen any problem with crabbing at the moment. So it may be just cosmetic at the moment.
Yeah, well, having a look at that, the number 67 actually turned the Schweck brothers around into the number 90 Selby Motorsports rough there. So I think they're very fortunate to actually get away with that one with only 2 damaged cars.
Yeah, the Schweck boys have also got a bit of damage here too, but not too much. The car looks fairly drivable at the moment, so they may get it repaired, but we know they've got 2 quick repairs and they're optional, so and a 45 incident limit in the races too this season.
Yeah, so having a look up front, folks, we've got a fantastic battle here brewing between Gary Hamilton and Christopher Osborne for the lead. I'm just trying to get my overlays here working, folks, but Gary Hamilton's in front. Christopher Osborne is chasing him down in that direct clutch motorsports entry.
I heard a rumour last night that Christopher Osborne was not very well. Has been vomiting throughout the weekend, so good to see him up and running and back in the car. Himself and Brad Wheaton, I believe it was, were planned to do the Sebring 12-hour last night, but yeah, Christopher couldn't make it, unfortunately. But back in and doing the SEK series, which is really good, and good to see him well enough to jump back in the car.
Yeah, definitely. So as we come through that to complete lap 2, folks, we've got Gary Hamilton out in front, leading Christopher Osborne in second. Only 0.2 of a second, as we can see now. Christopher Osborne taking the inside. We'll see if he can make this move. It looks like he can. Looks like Gary backed off there. So good driving by those guys. Further back in the field, we've got Ian McMahon in the newly painted MF Tech rough. It looks fantastic, I must say, that paint job. Marcelo Rivera is currently in 4th position. Adam Newton in the Elements racing team, number 222, rounds out our top 5.
Yeah, so going back to the Element boys there, guys, I know Gary's the 3Cs team leader for those, and Baden Reed and Adam Newton are the guys that went to his team, so that team's actually filled out to a 3-car team now for this season.
Yeah, so there was a bit of shuffling going on in the off-season, which was about a week, but yeah, Adam Newton, Baden Reed, they were with KRF last season.
Sorry, just to interrupt. Car 66, I'm just trying to find who that was. Looks like they've had a bit of an altercation. One of the black outer cars, we've got Paul Rogers has had a bit of a spin and altercation.
Yeah, we've got that replay up now, and we'll just see exactly what happened here, Scott. Yeah, he's just got it all wrong going in the chicane. Looks like he locked the rear end and spun it. Really hard for him to get back on the track, but he doesn't look like, actually does look like he might have sideswiped somebody.
Yeah, I think that might have been one of the KRF cars that he has made slight contact with on re-entry there, so hopefully those guys can continue without any damage.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, because up until that point he got out of that pretty well scot-free, pardon the pun, Scott, and he only he only clipped a car on re-entry. As I could see in the background, we've got a car coming into the pits.
Yeah, I think tonight's race is going to be about tyres too, guys. We're looking at the temperature at the moment. It's 39 degrees now. That's going to be quite hot and hard on the tyres. We know that these cars don't like the hot temperatures, so tyres are going to be a thing. But I have got some fuel numbers I know a team that's going to need about 260 litres worth of fuel tonight, and that's more than 2 tanks of fuel. So we may see a splash and dash again tonight with these cars.
Yeah, so because they're going to need more than 2 tanks, how far over are they in litre-wise? Can they fuel save, Adrian?
Well, my numbers are saying they need about 230 litres out of a BMW tank. So this is where I'm getting my information from, a BMW team. So their 2 tanks is 230 litres, so they're 30 litres shy. So yeah, it's very much up in the air on how they're going to run their strategy tonight. Yeah,
definitely.
Sorry, don't forget they've only got a 75% tank size as well. In the, I'm just double checking this. Oh, that might be for sprint rounds. Sorry, my bad. So you might be right there. They might be on full tanks for the endurance series.
Yeah, full tanks for enduros, and they've got a 75% limit for their sprint rounds. So that's going to just spice up the sprint rounds a little bit too.
Yeah, that's going to definitely spice up those sprint rounds. And just going through our top 5, folks, we've still got Gary Hamilton in the lead, followed by Christopher Osborne. These guys are pretty much inseparable at this stage. Ian McMahon is in 3rd, followed by Marcelo Rivera. Adam Newton is still in 5th. So it looks like the guys up the front are pretty much settled into a lot of drafting.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard track to overtake tonight. It's just because of the high speed track it is, and if you're brave, you're going to get it into the chicanes, and man, you're going to have to be really brave and hope the other driver sees you come up, and unfortunately it's going to be like a dive bomb move, but that's the only way I think the guys are going to get a real good pass done.
Okay, it looks like we've had one of our cars in trouble at the start already. The number 5 with Paul Feely behind the wheel is currently, it looks like they're 1 lap down at this stage.
Not a place you really want to go a lap down, unfortunately, at this track.
All car in the wall. Sorry guys, I'll just see if I can see who it is for you, Bernie. It was Paul Mansell for the Pagani IRF. It's the McLaren there, Bernie.
Okay, we'll jump to that in a moment. We're just having a look at Trevor Forster here as he comes into the chicane. Oh boy, there was a turned around McLaren sitting in the middle of the road, and Trevor did a really good job to get around that, but he did get a cut track penalty avoiding that car, so he's had to drop a position.
Yeah, the shortcuts on this track, Bernie, are quite severe, so the guys are going to have to be careful going into the first chicane and the second one. So that's going to be one to watch. And also pit entry, Bernie, here tonight. It is so easy to go flying in there and go past your speed limit, so you might get pinged for speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing with a new track, isn't it? They have to. Yeah, we're having a look at that was Paul Mansell, as you called it, facing the wrong way with some heavy damage. I tell you what, he was absolutely lucky that he did not get cleaned up by the field.
Yeah, especially in that chicane, in the third chicane, it's very rough in there, and just getting back in the field here, it looks like one of the TD Racing PMWs is a little bit banged up, so it looks like they've been in the walls already, which won't help with the aero tonight.
Yeah, definitely, Scott. This race has definitely gone off with a bit of a bang. We've got a lot of... we've got another hit with the number 5 heavily into the wall. He tried to turn in, but unfortunately the Styx McLaren was in his way, so that looks like it could have been Terry Marwood. We'll just have a look at this, folks. No, it wasn't Terry Marwood. I'm just trying to pick up, folks, who that car was.
The one in the rough is Paul Feely, who's in the SEK Queensland rough there. So
it was
Marcelo.
Rivera in the sticks McLaren there, guys.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, because I think Paul may have been actually trying to get out of the way, because he's back in 27th position and was 2 laps down. So I know for a fact that another big bingle, Ian Marr and one of the Blackadder cars, turn 1, car number 18.
All right, we'll
came together with Christian Challoner. Geez, guys, it's going off. We don't know where to look. Cameras are going berserk at the moment.
Yeah, I just want to cover off on Paul Feely. Unfortunately, as I was saying earlier, he turned into Marcelo Rivera, turning in, but then as he re-entered the track, he got absolutely nailed by the number 90 Selby Motorsports entry here. So Paul's absolutely trashed that car, which I must say, I don't think it was of any fault of his own, but he's been very unlucky there, guys.
Yeah, and just going back to the one that Scott was there, Bernie, as Ian Marr was getting into the first chicane there, looks like he's had a little bit of help getting in there by Adam Newton, and obviously getting a little bit of shove into that corner really unsettled the car and got him all out of shape, come across, and then he spun in front of the Blackadder Motorsports BMW there.
Yeah, we'll jump to that in a moment. We're just having a look at Paul now re-entering, and unfortunately he thought he was safe. He was on the outside, but it looked like the number 80 had some bit of understeer and just ran straight up the back of him. So that was the number 80, sorry, folks. So that was pretty bad, much bad luck there. Okay, so...
I'm not sure if he was had understeer there, Bernie. I think he was going to try and avoid him with the spotters and that, and he's just gone the wrong way there. So very unfortunate for those guys there.
Yeah, that's right. And Paul was doing the right thing by trying to re-enter the track. His car at the time was crabbing, and he was trying to get across the track to get to the pits. But he's back out there and circulating. So yeah, having a look at the 15th entry, Trevor Forster's car, that Bosch BMWs are definitely all banged up out there.
Yeah, I think it might be a few elements here, guys. Like, we start of the season, it's not generally the guys racing. I think it's just getting used to the track and how far you can race with guys in here, because it's obviously they haven't done a online series race here, and it's been generally practice for most of the week for these guys. So I think the race here is just all new and learning the limits of the track and the cars.
Yeah, definitely, but they've only got 2 fast repairs and a 70-lap race. I think the way these boys are going, a lot of them are going to be lucky to finish tonight.
Yeah, but this is also, this is where the team, working as a team, comes together and should be working well and helping each other as to what's going on further up the track. Slow cars, damaged cars, crashes, things like that. So it's not just up to the driver to rely on the iRacing spotter to tell him what's going on. These guys really need to start working together as an actual team and do the right thing.
Yeah, that's right. And just having a quick look at our top 5, folks. We've still got Christopher Osborne out front, followed by Gary Hamilton. Marcelo Rivera's dropped 3.5 seconds now from the lead. Aaron Osborne is in 4th, and Rod Pinder's worked his way up to 5th, and he's 11.8 seconds from the lead.
That's a good job there by Aaron Osborne in the TD Racing BMW. I see that they've got another car and actually joined up 2 guys that did miss out a lot of racing last season. That's Kurt Metcalf and Pat O'Hara. They missed out a lot of races last season, and they've joined up to run with the TD Racing team this season.
Oh, that's fantastic. So having 2 cars out there for that team is going to make a bit of difference for them in being able to compare data and move forward as the races progress.
Yeah, it's very good to see that this team was a one-car operation near the end there, but they've moved into a two-car and joined a couple of guys together so they can race and have some racing. I know they struggled, both Kurt and well, definitely Pat. He hardly got a race at all because he just didn't have a driver there. So good on the guys for getting together and joining up as one team. So it's good to see guys are working together and move forward. And I'll tell you that Baden Reed and Gary Hamilton pairing up is definitely going to take the championship up to Brad Wooten and Christopher this season.
Yeah, definitely. And the other guys we haven't seen back are the TTR boys. They were doing well last season up until they withdrew, I guess. But it doesn't look like we've got them out there tonight either, Adrian.
No, Bernie. Gavin's put in a new rule this season as well. You've got to be able to make the races. I think it was 80%, he said. So if you can't make all the races, don't even bother, which is a good thing. It gets the consistency. You get to all the same drivers week in, week out, and you know, you're settled and you know who you're driving and racing against, and it just makes it that much easier to have a good race out there with everyone.
Yeah, definitely, and it ensures that the teams that do enter this series are committed to the series for the long run or for the season, and gives our viewers out there good viewing. As we can see now, the number 9 car, the LMTI entry, is coming under a lot of pressure from the I'm just trying to see who that is. Kurt Metcalf in 13th, starting to work their way up.
You also got Trevor Forster there in the VPR 666 rough there in Bowls. So it's a little rough sandwich there with the BMW stuck in between. So, and there's a couple of cars behind there as well with the Blackadder Motorsport. So this looks like it could be a 5-way train here soon.
Definitely, it looks like the number 9 was pulling into the pits there, and we're riding with Trevor Forster at the moment, and oh man, he ended up taking both of them.
Oh wow, down the straight, that was pretty hectic racing there. Whew.
And then you can see the two BMWs starting to close in here at the moment, so while they're fighting, it's just drawing the other two cars up to them.
Well, fighting's never going to take you fast around any track, so you're going to see those guys probably catch up and sooner rather than later, I'm suggesting.
Yeah, definitely. And what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to we've got Brenton O'Brien up here in the commentary booth to do a little bit of commentating with us. So I'm going to be quiet, guys, and I'm going to let you three call this race for a little bit.
Oh, massive stack. Gregory Collin, number 9. He's it looks like he's got it loose coming out of, I can't think of the corner number, Bernie, but he's got loose and slammed into the wall pretty hard there.
Is that Lesmo 1? Lesmo 1, I think it is.
L&M Touring International number 9.
Yeah, the corner's
the
corner
name.
1. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that, Adrian. Looks like he got a left rear on the gravel trap there, and that's just looped him around, unfortunately. He's in the pits now. Looks like he's had a tow, and we'll be getting that fixed up.
Good evening, Brenton. How are you this evening, mate?
I'm well, Adrian, Scotty, and to yourself too, Bernie. Thanks for having me along. Sorry about a bit late, just forever having issues at the moment trying to get drivers into teams. That we're getting all sorts of errors, so just took a while to get things sorted out. But a good race so far.
Yeah, Brenton, I believe you battled out in the 12-hour of Sebring last night. How'd that go for you and the guys at Evolution?
Probably Scotty didn't take it even slightly seriously. We only literally decided to go in at 20 minutes before the race started, so mate, we didn't have any skin. Marty Carroll from SDC was good enough to give us a setup for the HPD, which I had never driven before. So we weren't really there for results. We were just there for a few giggles, and we were up to 5th overall. Come about 3 o'clock this morning or 4 o'clock this morning, and decided I had to go to bed. So no, it was nothing ever serious for us. It really wasn't.
But you got out there and had a bit of fun, mate, and that's what's important. And I think some guys need to look at that and just it's fun to do the iRacing and not be so serious about it, but enjoy it at the same time.
Yeah, and that's what we did. Like we were doing an IndyCar race at 10:15.
Well, sorry to interrupt. Car 90 on its roof, massive slam. Justin Alderton in the Selby Racing, just trying to crab that thing off the road and get a tow back to the pits, I'd say.
Yeah, it's been a bad couple of laps with for the Selby boys. I know I saw the other Selby car in the second chicane have a lose as well, so that's unlucky for Justin and his teammate Nathan Huppert's there. So it's a bit of experience in that car, and they were up as high as 9th at one stage. So yeah, that's going to set them back quite a long ways with the tow here. Get a free tow, obviously, which is going to help. But yeah, that's going to put a big damper to their day.
Yeah, it definitely is. We're having a look at the replay here. It was coming out of the chicane, and the car just sort of did the usual for a rough and kinked or jinxed left, I guess you could say, and he spun straight into the wall.
Yeah, the rough seems to have a bit of a weird behavioural pattern on exits, where if you slightly lift, it doesn't like the lift-off accelerator as you're exiting a corner, and actually wants to loop you around. So I haven't noticed it with the BMW or the McLaren.
I can tell you right now that McLaren through the Parabolica is almost undrivable. It's sorry, kids.
Are you getting a lot of push with it, Brenton? Or
yeah, and just the back comes around. It just kicks out rapidly and just out of nowhere. So the McLaren is certainly a hard beast to tame around here. And yeah, just looking at the cars at the front, I would almost say that the rough is the favoured car. They're certainly punching out some good consistent times, but by saying that, they seem to be tripping over themselves quite a bit as well.
Oh, another incident. Jeez, what's going off? Car 68, Craig Dorr, fighting a bit of a battle there, and got turned around by Kurt Metcalf, who went deep under brakes and unfortunately didn't make a clean pass. I guess you could, probably best way of putting it.
Yeah, he definitely didn't. We were on board at the time, folks, as we have a look now from the external view. Yeah, he just came right up on the inside there, entering the chicane, and there was no way that he was going to pull that car up, unfortunately, which has spun Craig Dorr. And then Kurt went into the other car as he re-entered the circuit, so that was really messy there.
Yeah, not sure what's going on here. Some of the guys are driving standards are a little bit average. We've just seen one of the
Kurt Metcalf has come into the pits from, well, he was 14th. God. So yeah, but a lot of the teams are going to be thinking whether they need to do that second pit stop. I'm doubting it if they do the right thing and save fuel, but they can definitely get through on one so long as they do the right thing fuel wise.
Yeah, well,
battle for the lead, guys. Christopher Osborne making a pass again now. Makes that quite easy going down into the final corner.
Well, these guys here, Gary Hamilton and Aidan Reid car, like Baden Reid, sorry, these guys are my favourites for the championship. I'll take away Evolution Racing Australia boys, but these guys here, they both lacked that one element last season. The greatest respect to the guys they were driving with, but these guys here are going to be so strong, and they're going to continually take it up to those direct clutch motorsport guys.
Yeah, definitely. And having a look at our top five, folks, we've still got Christopher Osborne and Gary Hamilton duking it out here for first position and keeping out of trouble. Marcelo Rivera is up into third and doing a fantastic job in that Darrell Lee Sticks entry. McLaren fourth at the moment, we have Rod Pinder, and rounding out our top five, we have Aaron Osborne in the number 727 Bridgestone BMW entry there.
Yeah, and just with that third place car, the ERA 26 car, we got Marcelo Rivera and Anthony Manzarella, sorry. We tried to get Ben Smith in with Marcelo. That was the original team, but that's what I'm saying. We couldn't get Ben in tonight. We couldn't get Mick Ford in tonight. We couldn't get Mark Pickett in tonight. So we've had some issues trying to get some drivers in, but we'll keep chipping away. And the boys are up there at the moment doing third place. So yeah, very respectable job. Like, it is a tough car to drive around here.
It certainly is, and we just saw Marcelo making a move on the inside there. I tell you what, he's right on the edge there, but he's made that move, and we have him up to third position now, Brenton.
Yeah, but that move didn't need to be made because he's actually lapping Paul Mansell there, and Paul probably made life a bit more difficult than it needs to be. So I'm kind of hoping that that's not the tone to set for the rest of the season, because I know Marcelo already had an incident with the fairly rough into Parabolico as well when he was getting lapped. So yeah, hopefully things will calm down a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely needs to calm down out there for some of those teams. They're, I must say, quite a few of them are in the wars quite early, but it's good to see the guys up the front here keeping out of trouble, as we see now Marcelo coming up to lap another car. Is that correct? Yes, it is, and he gets out of his way, which is good driving there.
Yeah, it is. Marcelo's 5.3 seconds down the track there. Oh, Mansell's going to be very aggressive here under brakes. So that's no surprises there. Metcalf and Mansell's had a hit, and I don't think Mr. Metcalf did a lot wrong there, just quietly. And then Mansell has then just come in front of the field on the way out as well. So I'm not sure what the story is with stewards this season or not, but that might be something that we're sort of looked at.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a few incidents tonight the marshals are going to have to look at, or the stewards, because going through those tight chicanes, two cars just don't fit. As we're looking at the replay now of Mansell and the Bridgestone entry going off, we'll stay with this, folks, so we can see the re-entry. So Paul's just come straight out in front of the field. The poor number 5 again nearly gets cleaned up. And yeah, that was very average driving, I must say.
And Mansell's then gone off again outside of that last chicane. Yeah, so Mansell's just had that incident there again. So, but yeah, the McLaren is a difficult car to drive, and if you haven't had much lap time, and I know I haven't had much at all, you tend to make a lot of mistakes in it. So, a lot of new drivers to the series, and it's great to have them along, but maybe just if they get that opportunity, and not everyone does, just try and get some more lap time in.
Yeah, well, we saw this at the start of the AEC at the Daytona. A lot of guys were treating it like a sprint race. There was a lot of carnage, but they definitely learnt their lesson when all the cars started dropping out, because they were either going over their incident limit or they ran out of fast repairs. So I think we're going to see a similar thing happen to a few of these guys tonight.
Yeah, the thing is, the penalty points in this series as well. Every 15 incidents, I believe you lose 5 points, which was significant in the championship last year. So a lot of the drivers who raced that last year will have their eyes on that this season.
Yeah.
I still think because Monza is brand new to iRacing, not many guys have actually been racing on with the GT3s on here. It's just been their normal practice session, or whoever's put one up here, and it's just practice, not racing.
Yeah, so what we'll do, folks, is we're going to jump on board with Marcelo Rivera now, and we'll do a lap around here in the Darrell Lee Sticks McLaren and enjoy the ride. Wow, I tell you what, it doesn't take long to do a lap around Monza, as we were riding with Marcelo Rivera there in the Darrell Lee Styx McLaren. He's currently in third position at the moment, folks, and doing a great job out there.
Brenton, having the McLaren now in the team with the Styx and Darrell Lee sponsorship, what's just for the viewers, what's the hardest part? You guys used to run the roughs throughout the GT3 series, and before that the BMWs. How have you found trying to adapt to the to the McLaren has been the hardest thing? As he just has a spin, unfortunately.
So Adrian, what's your take on the race so far, mate?
Exciting. I hope the viewers are getting their money's worth out of this tonight. Guys are really keen. Like I said, I think it's just the fact that the track's all new to racing. Guys have been out there practicing and all that sort of stuff. So such a new track for everyone to learn, and just outstepping their braking markers, not understanding how much draft they're getting either, guys. I think this is the thing, yeah, and it's so hard to overtake on this track that I'm seeing.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I noticed there's another Selby motorsport car parked on the inside of the track coming into the pits. I'm not sure who that is, but looks like they're in trouble anyway. Having a look, folks, at our top five, as always, we've got Christopher Osborne out front, but he's not having it his own way. Gary Hamilton is starting to put the pressure on there. Marcelo Rivera did have a spin, but he still held on to third, but he's down 14 seconds from the lead now. Rod Pinder's right behind him there in the number 446 or 46 yellow SEK Queensland entry there, and right behind him we have Aaron Osborne in the number 727 Bridgestone BMW, and then right behind him we've got Timothy Schweck. Good recovery there. He was involved in an incident in the first chicane, but he finds himself at the moment in sixth position.
Yeah, good recovery. This has been heating up for a while. Once these guys had a little bit of issue with the lap traffic there earlier, but they're on their way, and it's a good little tussle. But yeah, it's so hard to overtake. So it's going to be coming down who's got the nerve to overtake. But we've seen here, unless you've got the job done, there's no point trying to overtake into the chicanes.
Well, that's exactly right, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot of moves at the chicanes. As you said, Adrian, new track, the guys are getting used to it. They're trying to work out where they can pass and where they can't, and I guess they're getting that draft coming up the inside on the chicanes and just running out of room.
Yeah, Benny, I think biggest thing that these guys have to learn is coming out of the parabolica right behind the guy in front of you. You've really got to get in at their draft coming out of the parabolica, so you can actually get your overtaking move before you get into the chicane, so the guys knows that you're there and you get the corner. But at the moment this is what they've got to do, learn how to do that, get all it underneath their belt, and like we said, it's their first race really around Monza for these guys. We know that iRacing doesn't have it for the GT3s at the moment. I'm not sure they did in week 13, didn't they, guys?
Yeah, I think they did run something in week 13 for Monza. They normally do with the new tracks when they launch them.
Yeah, and then they leave it about mid-season to run a race through iRacing on one event there so people can buy it. I think it's mid-season for GT3s, isn't it?
Guys, sorry to interrupt. Leaders have just had a coming together. Cars 111, Gary Hamilton, and would have been, I guess, Christopher Osborne.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the replay of that. Just got John King talking over the top of us here at the moment.
Like Christopher kind of got into the back of Gary under brakes, and it's just sent the rear.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. So, thinking that Chris should definitely try and redress that. I would hope he would redress that. That's that wasn't Gary's fault in any way. Chris is just running to the back
slow
of him.
there, Brenton.
Yeah, so I'm thinking he's going to try and do the right thing there.
Yeah, that's we're just having a look at the replay here, and you called it right, guys. Well done. As Gary went into the wall then, as he tried to turn that car around. So most unfortunate there for the leaders, and we'll see if that's redressed.
I'll tell you what, it's going to turn out like a safety car almost. Boys, we've got Chris here slowing down for Gary, because you can tell he is, because he's losing that much time to him. And then third, fourth, fifth and sixth are right behind there. So it's almost a safety car, guys.
Yeah, definitely. But that's good sportsmanship there by Christopher. He knew he did wrong, and he redressed it. So well done there to the number 86.
Thing is with going slowly is that it's very sporting, there's no doubt, he's done the right thing there. Yep, good job to Chris, but what that also did is gave him that slowish lap where you can save a lot of fuel, and now you should be really confident of getting through with one stop.
Yeah,
but it's a catch-22. He did the right thing, but he still made a gain out of it.
Yeah, but out of all that, the man that did make the big gain is your man there, Brenton. Marcelo Rivera's closed that 14-second deficit, and he's back in the hunt now.
Yeah, and he's got a bit of company with him, with Rod Pinder in the SEK, Aaron Osborne in the TD Racing, Bridgestone, the BMW, and the Schweck gentleman, father-son, in the Rothmans GT. So what's done is close this right up. We've got the top 6 now covered by 6.8 seconds. I wouldn't even think it'd be that.
Yeah, definitely. And I cleared up, Brenton. The Schweck boys, they're actually brothers, I found out last season. So, yeah, so there you go.
Well, it's not through lack of guessing, so they're brothers. All right. Well, the Schweck boys then, yeah, they do a solid job every week in the SEK series, don't they? But just wondering if there's any damage to either of these roughs. It doesn't really look like it. Maybe a slight bit of damage in front of the direct clutch car, but very, very minor. Rivera in the McLaren, he looks pretty clean as well. The Aaron Osborne BMW looks like a bit like a dog's breakfast. It's got a bit of damage at the front, but yeah, they're all running fairly consistent times now.
Yeah, definitely. As we're having a look out the back of Christopher's car, it looks like the rough definitely gets out of those chicanes a bit faster than the McLaren at this stage.
Yeah, I think that's the strength of this series, not just the SEK series, but the GT3 series as a whole. Is that as much as iRacing have tried to close the gap between all the cars, and I think they've done a really good job. I do. I think all the cars overall could be seen as being pretty even. I do still think that some tracks are still favoured to some cars more than others.
We've just had a change in lead, folks. Christopher Osborne has passed Gary Hamilton for the lead, coming into the chicane.
Yeah, it just comes down to, I suppose, the cars, guys. The BMW's front engine, rear wheel drive, your Porsche or rough, as they're called, is rear engine, rear wheel drive, and your McLaren's a mid engine. So just different ways the cars are and the way they handle each track. We can see here the Russ are probably on the top step here, and the best BMW at the moment up here as well. So they're doing all right, and the McLaren. So it's not too bad. The guys are working it and moving away, but I think the Russ are going to be the car this season.
Yeah, and that's what I like about this series. Like, the cars are fairly close in performance, but they're not identical, which makes it interesting to see how each make performs. And speaking of makes performing, I've noticed we don't have any Ford GT3s out there this season, which is unfortunate.
How good would the Ford GT go on a track like this with these long straights? So it's I got to admit, I was surprised to see that there wasn't any GT3s, Ford GT3s out there, because they would have been able to punch in some incredibly strong laps in a straight line out there.
Yeah, definitely. I think it may be that if they've got to commit to a car for the season, some of the guys are probably not quite confident in how that car's going to perform over that season.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. That's probably the one thing that iRacing haven't got right is the performance of the GT3. It did improve 2 updates ago, definitely made an improvement. And I believe there was still a slight improvement in the last update, but it's still just that little bit off. But by saying that, the winner of the recent SimRace Asia GT3 Championship was Tobias Cherney in the Ford GT. So, in the right hands, it can do incredible things.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I think for other drivers, because we know Tobias is a fantastic driver, he's really on top of setups and everything, but I think where the Ford GT3 struggles a little bit is the guys trying to get a handle on those on setting it up.
Yeah, Aaron Osborne is in the pits, guys. He's come in, so he's early stop here, I think.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is the great, unless they've had their hand forced in regards to making a pit stop. Yeah, lap 25. You've locked yourself in for a 2 stop from here.
Yeah, pretty much. It looks like a scheduled stop. They've done a driver change, tyres, fuel, so looks pretty scheduled.
What kind of numbers are we looking at fuel-wise a lap? Does anybody know?
I don't know off the top of my head. However, I think I can only go from what my teammate Nathan Britton's doing back there in 14th. I thought he was last I saw. So I don't know, 16th must have had a drama. The plan was that he could get to lap 34, and I could bring it home the last 36 laps. But one of our other drivers looks like he finally could get in. He's done a lot more practice than I am, so hopefully that's the plan. They can just do that one stop, but they've got to go as long as they can. So I'm thinking to come lap 34, 35, you're going to see a hell of a lot of cars trying to pit all at the same time.
Well, that'll make it exciting for us, that's for sure. As we're having a look now out of the nose of Gary Hamilton. So, folks, we'll let you have a run around here in the rough this time by. Okay, folks, that was a lap around Monza in the rough, as we see the leaders now battling it out. So I'll give you a bit of an update of what's been going on. Top 5, Christopher Osborne having a fantastic battle now with Gary Hamilton and Marcelo Rivera's bought into this fight. Timothy Schweck has dropped off 5 seconds in 4th. James Keane in the second Darrell Lee Sticks entry is now in 5th position. We've had a number of guys come into the pits. Christian Challoner in the number 67 has pitted with the 15.4 second stop. Guy Leach and Tim Ballinger have also pitted. Tim did a long stop of a 47.9 second. Justin McKeon stopped as well, 28 seconds. Brett Garitas, 33.2 seconds. Kurt Metcalf, the number 66 entry with Rogers driving that one. Joseph Cardamine has also pitted, and Paul Feely. So it looks like some of these teams are electing for a 2-stop strategy there, Brenton.
And, you know, it's going to be such a massive disadvantage to those who can get through in the 1-stop. I would have thought, surely, all for the sake of turning your fuel mapping down, you can get that extra lap and a half covered and save you that pit stop. However, by saying that, I'm not sure, to be honest with you, it's the story of tyres. The tyres might get to a point where they're just screaming blue murder, but if you can get that 1 stop, surely that's got to be a significant advantage.
Well, you definitely think so around here, considering they're taking between 33 and 47 seconds a stop. As a leader now, Gary Hamilton has dived into the pits, guys.
Yeah, so a lot of guys are coming in now, but Brenton's saying a whole lap here. They've still got another 7 laps, so some of these guys may be taking tyre option because the heat up here, we know that the tyres do fall off, so maybe guys are going for the route of trying to keep the fresher tyres on and keep the lap times down that way.
Yeah, I'm just having a chat with my teammate Tom Jones, and I just said to him, "Are you going to be able to make it?" And he's thinking already, and they're back in 5th place, the James Keane Tom Jones car. They've done a really good job considering Keane hasn't raced his car this week. He's saying that they don't look like they'll be able to make it for 1 stopping.
Okay, so we'll see how that pans out. We've got Lewis Kugeley from Blackadder Motorsport in the green room, guys. So we'll bring him up for a bit of an interview. Any of you guys want to have a chat with him?
There's not so much over a whole chat, but there's certainly one question I want to ask him, and yeah, bring him up and we'll see how we go. Lewis, welcome to Redback Racing TV's Round 1 coverage of SEK Championship. Mate, notice that you're not racing, or have I missed something there?
Nah, you've got that 100% right, Brenton. I've got PC issues at the moment, so I've been out of action the last couple of weeks. Hopefully I should be ready for next week.
Okay, because the question I was going to ask you was, and you've answered before I asked it, was just, as a team with Evolution Race Australia, we're having problems with drivers entering teams, but that's not your issue tonight, obviously. So when do you reckon these computer problems get fixed up and we'll see you on the track again?
Well, I've been off the last couple of weeks. I just got to go fix it and get a new PC. I think I've been running on a really poor laptop, so I've got to do a bit of an upgrade there and get something that runs optimally. I was supposed to run last week at Sebring, but I just couldn't get it going. I need to get that sorted first.
And exciting times for Blackadder Motorsport with new sponsors on board, probably with a bit of help of John King from the stand. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, John's did a good organising a technical liaison with GP Racing Agents and their karting team. New skin should be ready for next week on that, and pretty much we got an affiliation with them now, so they're a distributor of karting equipment and go-karts in general. So hopefully next week when we get the new skins, I'll bring John up because he knows a lot about it. But basically, it's a positive step for us, our first real sponsor as a team, and we're looking forward to running their logos and their cars in the future events.
And the boys race tonight, how are they doing so far? You've been able to watch much of it?
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm crew chiefing and watching, so I've got fewer numbers down. I heard your discussions before, and yeah, the BMWs have no chance of making it on a 1-stop, so we've probably got 31 laps in fuel mileage. We had a bit of an up and down night tonight. We've all had our own little incidents, mostly due to other cars not behaving correctly, but we're fighting on. We've got 3 cars tonight, and we'll have 3 cars for the rest of the season. It's just getting back into the rhythm. And as you guys say before, it's round 1, Monza. A lot of these guys haven't raced there before, and yeah, we're just trying to get the hang of it again.
Yeah, well, having a look at how your boys are going out there, Christian Challoner's now up into 5th in the number 67 Blackadder Motorsport entry, but Paul, the number 66, that one has definitely been in the wars tonight, Lewis.
Yeah, we haven't had the outright pace tonight, so our qualifying, and I think the BMW in general is a little bit slower than the McLaren and the rough this season, so we're sort of stuck in the mid-pack there, and turn 1 was a bit tight, getting through that, and I think we've just had a few little incidents with other cars, and Paul's taken a bit of a beating, but he's kept going, done some good consistent laps, and we're just looking forward to having a nice steady run home for the second portion of the race.
Yeah, fantastic. And we were talking earlier about air temp out there and tyre temp. How are the tyres going through the stint? Are the boys complaining much about it?
The boys are complaining generally. It's a trait with the BMW. You've got to really ease into the stint, so you've got to look after it. You've got to obviously control how you use the tyre over the run. So generally when I drive, when the boys tonight are saying that they're taking it quite easy the first couple of laps, and that'll free them up for the rest of the stint. But yeah, tyres really aren't the issue tonight. It's more the fuel, and we've had to go 2 stops because we just can't make that 35 laps on the one tank.
Hey guys, sorry about this. Justin McEwen's just trashed his element car there, guys, coming out of the last chicane.
Yeah, we just caught that on the replay while Lewis was talking, folks. It definitely looks again like the rough has done the old tank slapper coming out of that chicane and pretty much put him in the wall at the exact same spot that we saw the Selby rough go in earlier tonight.
And we have our leader, Chris Osborne, and 86 rough into the pit. So the interest here is with the sister element car, as Baden Reed in the car now, whether they can get through just that extra 2 laps it will be. So I'd imagine they'll come out fairly close.
Yeah, Guy Leach has actually jumped Baden Reed, so Guy Leach will be the one looking at probably... Oh, no, Baden Reed, has he just passed him there, Bernie?
Sorry, I wasn't actually looking at the cameras at the time. I was just having a look through everyone that's pitted at this stage. The only guys... it looks like your car's in the pits now as well, Brenton. The number 99 with James Keane behind the wheel.
Yeah, he's done a really good stint, James. Yeah, he's very good in the Star Mazdas. You might have saw that last Thursday night, and does a lot of open wheelers. So anytime we can put a roof over his head, it's generally the first time. So an excellent stint, and I would imagine, unless he's going to swap over with Tom Jones now, I'm thinking that would be their plan. Not sure. They can sort themselves out there, but that's we're pretty happy with it as a driver pairing. And at this stage of the season, like anybody, their job's just to try and get to the finish here, and Jones is now in that car, so I'd imagine that Jones will bring it home from there, so it's a really good first stint.
Yeah, definitely. And while we've got you up here, Lewis, you'll be happy to know the number 67 now has shuffled through to second position. So we've got Brad Wooten at the moment out in front of the number 86, followed by the number 67 Blackadder Motorsport. They have pitted. Followed closely by Baden Reed in the 111 Elements Racing entry there. Guy Leach has brought the number 46 SEK Queensland entry up into 4th position, and rounding out our top 5 is Marcelo Rivera being challenged by Tim Ballinger in 6th. So all those guys have pitted, so it's definitely shuffled the pack out there.
Yeah, guys, I'm having a look at these pit times there, Bernie. I don't know if you want to have a look on your thing there, but if we had a look at Brad Wooten and Christopher Osborne, very short stop in comparison. Like, well, I'm reckon about at least 5 seconds shorter than the rest of the guys. So these guys are playing with their fuel numbers. They may have put a little bit less fuel in, and they know their numbers, so they're going to stop again for sure.
Yeah, they could have done it to break the draft. Like, it's fairly easy to sit in someone's shaft pretty much all around this track, so yeah, just by dropping that 5 seconds of fuel, Yeah, they'll probably have to put that in later on, perhaps, but they're now out on their own, and Baden's now going to have to work his way back into this.
Yeah, the big winner in stops out there, and I'll ask this of Lewis while he's here, the number 67 entry, Christian Challenger behind the wheel, they did a 15.4 second stop, which makes me think they probably didn't take tyres. Can you confirm that or not, Lewis?
I can confirm that first stop was unscheduled, so we had a bit of damage. We had to get in the fuel window, so we just filled her up to the top. We did not take tyres, obviously, and now we're just running the tank dry and then fill her up, slap some tyres on and do the driver change and finish off the race. So I think we're not going to really know where we are in terms of track position until the last stops are finalised because of different fuel loads, because I know some people like us, we've taken a short first stop and then a long one in the second stop. So yeah, we're looking alright. It's a bit of a recovery drive, but yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, Lewis. I'm in talks with another BMW team, and they almost had almost three strategies that they could work on. Now, I suppose you guys went through the same deal with the BMW.
Yep, there's a few strategies. We were going to alternate because we have 3 cars. We were going to change a few different things. So I think that, especially last season, I think the way to go was in terms of fuel strategy was you top her up at the start. And I remember a couple of the rounds, especially Silverstone, we went the wrong way. We tried to divide the fuel strategies up into 3 even stints, but I think the optimum strategy tonight was to start on a full tank, fill it up in the second one, and then take the splash at the end without tyres. So you wouldn't have taken tyres in both of the stops. You would have only taken tyres in one of them, and that's what we've done. But yeah, there's a few different ways you can go about it. But yeah, I think we're a little bit down on the rough, especially in terms of fuel consumption and fuel mileage.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thanks for coming up, Lewis. We're going to let you out of the hot seat as we have another Selby Motorsports rough in the fence, same spot as previously. But before we let you go, Lewis, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Just the boys. I've had a good couple of weeks. I know some of the guys ran in the Sebring 12-hour last night. I think it was a 5th and a 7th in the second split in the BMW, which was a good result. And obviously last season with the 66 car finishing 3rd overall, I do believe. Awesome stuff there. Thanks to the guys who did the setup for us. Obviously the new sponsorship deal. So that's credit to John. John, you guys might know, used to do a lot of go-karting, so his connection there helps us out a lot with that. You guys, RRTV, it's good to come up each week and chat with you guys, and I can confirm Australia have just won the Cricket World Cup.
Yeah, go Stevie Smith.
Excellent. Yeah, so thanks, Lewis, for coming up. When you get your new paint schemes out there, definitely drop in or get John to drop in so we can have a bit of a more in-depth chat about that sponsorship deal.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
So folks, that was Lewis Kugeley in the Blackadder Motorsports team. So having a look at our top 5, we've got Brad Wooten here. He's got a 10.1 second lead now over Baden Reed. Guy Leach is right behind Baden at the moment, 1 second down in the number 46 SEK Queensland entry. Christian Challenger in the number 67 Blackadder entry is in fourth. We know they're out of sequence and they'll run that tank dry. And rounding out our top 5 is Marcelo Rivera in the Darrell Lee Sticks McLaren entry.
And Baden is making some inroads here, but he's 10 seconds behind, so he's a long way behind, but it's an even 10 seconds. But just a little gain here and a little gain there. And what they could do with the direct clutch car at the end there, they might need to make up that fuel shortage, and we're only assuming they didn't put as much fuel in. So that might work its way back, not so sure, but yeah, it's a really good debut for the Element Motorsports team.
Yeah, but we know, look, I'm not going to mince words here. We know Chris can put up a mean strategy here. We've seen him time and time again. I mean, Zolder last season, he ran to numbers all race long, and then with the 15 minutes to go, he just put down qualifying lap time. So he's no slouch behind the wheel, and I'm sure he's got the numbers behind him as well. So look, these guys are definitely the guys to beat in this series, and look, with Gary bringing along Peyton Reed, they're the guys to bring it to him. So it's going to come down to that last stop, I think, boys.
Oh, there's no doubt Brad's not as fast as Chris. Like, Chris is, I'm not sure whether, obviously you know that Chris punches the numbers and Chris is the faster driver, but, these guys pitted lap 31. Yeah, they're not going to do 39 laps on one tank.
Yeah, that's where I think Brad might be actually doing a really short stint here. He might be the one that in there for a certain amount of laps, and then Chris is going to go out there with a light fuel load and just put in qualifying lap time. So trying to be doing 147s and 148, somewhere like that. It's going to make it. Oh, geez, that got a bit messy there, boys. Watching Marcelo going around Christian Challenger there. That was a little bit of wheel bagging there, guys.
Yeah, just watched that and giving each other a bit of a tap on the side there. And that could have been anything. And Marcelo actually, it's a pretty good save there. He could have ended up in the wall. That would have been really ugly, but. Just it's a little bit messy on periods tonight. But these guys here, like you said, and you said it, Scotty, that these guys are 16 seconds back from the lead now, and just before the pit stops, they were right in it. So I would reckon you're spot on, Scotty, with that call in regards to they're going to short field, get Brad in. Brad might do the minimum amount of laps required, and then get Chris, like I said, the faster of the two drivers, to bring it home.
I'm going to just add into this. I think Adrian was mentioning about the short field, but I've got a sneaking suspicion that this might actually go a different way. Now, Brad Wheaton's in the car at the moment. Christopher Osborne is not a very well chap at all. He's quite ill. We've been vomiting all weekend. I've got a feeling that they're going to run this tank of fuel until they are out the minimum amount of laps that they can do to the end, and then they'll come in and fill, and I reckon Brad will stay in the car.
Yeah. If you know he's sick, that could be exactly the play. That could be the play, but that's the beauty of this of this length of race, isn't it? That the strategy comes into play, and that's the great thing about it.
Yeah, and unfortunately up in the comms box, unless we've got contact with them, we're not really able to know what their strategies are. So viewers, stay watching. Watch it unfold.
Yeah, and speaking of viewers, Adrian, have we had any comments on the YouTube channel tonight? Any questions?
No, we haven't seen a lot on there. Just discussing what's been going on there, seeing the action there. But it looks like the Hayden Burns is out in the Shelby racing. Doesn't look like he enjoyed the track, so just not used to. Probably haven't got that rough setup for this track. We know it's a little bit sketchy, so it's one of those cars that if you got a good setup in there, it's a brilliant car to drive around. And definitely on Monza, it's an awesome track. I love it. So I'm a bit biased to this track. I actually love driving around here.
Yeah, we had a look at the replay that put Hayden out earlier while you guys were talking to Lewis. Again, coming out of that chicane, he had it all straight, but all of a sudden the thing kicked sideways to the right and just put him straight into the fence. And it didn't look like it was the most bizarre thing I've seen for a long time.
Yeah, Benny, that last chicane, like when I was out there first time for me driving out there, which was on Wednesday, if you had a little bit too much steering input in there, it really unsettled the back of the BMW and it just spun you around. So I'm sure most of the cars, and I think Brenton and Scott there would be in the same impression on that last corner. It just seems to, if you don't have your steering wheel open enough, it will spin you around and take your car out.
Yeah, it looked like as he was exiting, he got on the ripple strip, he had it pretty much straight, but then all of a sudden it just steered to the right and went straight into the fence. But anyway, it looks like, I'm not sure if they're exactly out yet. I think they're still circulating, but they're 11 laps down. The only team we have out at the moment is the number 18, which retired earlier on in the race.
Guys, I'll tell you who's putting in some quick lap times at the moment is Braden Reed. He's dropped that gap between himself and Brad Wheaton by about 2 seconds in the last 2.5 laps.
Yeah, he's brought that gap down to 8 seconds now. He's lapping in the 149.3. Brad Wooten's doing 150.6 second laps at the moment.
Do we know maybe if Chris and Brad haven't changed tyres in their first pit stop?
Yeah, but it was only a 5 second slower stop, wasn't it? So I would have thought tyres would take a lot longer than just 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think it was. Sorry, Bernie. Yeah, it would have been just fuel that they short filled on that. That's where the 5 seconds. They definitely would have taken tyres. I mean, you'd be crazy not to have tyres for an hour around here. That's for sure.
Oh, sounds like it's a bit of a drama with my car. There is.
So folks, I'll take you through our top 10 at the moment. We have Brad Wooten out in the lead, but Braden Reed is now starting to pull him in. He's 8 seconds down from catching Brad at this stage. Guy Leach is 2 seconds down off Reed in the SEK Queensland number 46 entry. Rivera is in fourth in the Darrell Lee Sticks number 26. Challoner fifth, number 67 Blackadder Motorsports. Ballinger 727 is starting to close in and challenge on Christian now, as we can see him close right up under brakes. Colin Schweck is in 7th, 8th Tom Jones, and 9th Brett Garitas. And then rounding out our top 10 folks is Trevor Forster in the 666 Oz New Zealand rough entry.
Yeah, Brendan, I heard the same thing over the radio. There was a little bit untidy coming out of that last chicane.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Wasn't good. Going off to the side track, so you can use that racing room, but I'm not sure whether the other red McLaren, the Stoneman, I think was, actually saw him there. It was yeah, a little bit messy.
Okay guys, I'm going to get my question answered. We've got Hayden Burns waiting in the green room. I'm definitely bringing him up to find out exactly how that rough was throwing him sideways into the wall. Hi Hayden, welcome to RRTV's commentary booth. Bad luck in the number 80 entry. Can you confirm if that car has retired for the night?
Hey guys, yeah, we'll be retiring our little roof for tonight.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you guys are having a rough night out there, pardon the pun. But I must ask you, we've noticed a few times coming out of that chicane on exit, it seemed like the car gave you a bit of a tank slapper and threw you into the wall. What's your take on how that car was handling tonight?
Well, to be honest, you nailed the point. It was so random. It just came on all of a sudden from the steering wheel. Like, you could not get, any well, you were getting feedback. You feel the car was stable through the first part of the chicane and Ascari there, and then, like you said earlier, I mean, you just come into the second part and it just snapped, and you try and save it, but I mean, you saw, I think I binned it there like two times now, or 3 times. Several other guys have had moments there as well. It's just really annoying and frustrating, and I hate myself for what I did.
Well, I don't think it was your fault. That last time we had on the replay, it looked like you had actually exited the corner, you had the steering straight, and then it just threw you into the fence.
Yeah, it was definitely weird. I was chatting to my teammate Chris, and I just said to him, I said, I have no confidence in the car to Ascari. I mean, everywhere else, the car was fine. It was nice and stable. That's all we tried to aim with setup this week, was a stable setup. And then Ascari, yeah, even in testing, I did buy the track today, hand up, I bought the track today, I've been very busy. But even in testing today, I had no confidence in the car to Ascari, and I was just, either hitting the outside wall or the inside wall.
And have you had any reports from the number 90 Selby entry? Are they having any similar issues?
The car, they had a spin, we know that much, and they had to take a fast repair. However, the car, now they've settled into a nice rhythm and they're on the comeback. But as far as handling wise goes, I mean, we all know that every driver is a bit different, and something that feels a bit odd to me may not feel odd to Nathan or Justin, who we've got in the car tonight. So for them to be handling wise alright, and on track for a half decent comeback to score some points for their car, that's good stuff for the first round, considering all the problems we've had.
Yeah, definitely. Well, bad luck on tonight, Hayden, and thanks for coming up. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, mate?
Well, yeah, it's been a while since I've been in the commentary box, so yeah, just a shout out to all the guys at Selby Motorsports, Sean and Nathan, obviously, for taking me on and offering me the gig. I just wish I could repay the favour with a good result.
It'll come, mate, it'll come. So anyway, thanks for coming up, Hayden, and hopefully we'll see you up here next week.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Just thought I'd come up and clarify the mysterious issue of the Ascari chicane.
No, thanks, I appreciate that, because I think the boys up here thought I was imagining things.
No worries, guys.
Tell you what, guys, Tom Jones and Brett Garitas are certainly mixing it up out there at the moment.
And both good drivers too, so they'll hopefully, I don't want to put the kiss of death on, hopefully they'll keep it clear. Just trying to work out with a 70-lap race what the minimum length of laps a co-driver will need to do, because I've been surprised how many guys are double stinting at the moment.
I was just doing some numbers there, Brenton.
I can sort of, if you guys want to go to the iRacing entries list, it actually can give you where they're at. It looks like 9 is possibly the minimum that they can do in a race.
Yeah, that's I've looked at that at 9, but in other people's brackets it's got 18.
Yeah, it's more, I think it's a little bit different on how many laps you're doing, but if you have a look at, say, the Pagani boys, number 10, Philip Stoneman's done, is it 6 or something out of 9? So, it's that sort of gives you indication he needs to do a few more laps.
From what I've worked out, it'll say 18 if there hasn't been another driver come into the server as yet for that car.
Yeah, I'm thinking 9 as well, because it's normally what it's normally 8/10, or sorry, about 12%, I think it is, isn't it? 12.5%.
So it's the race distance divided by how many drivers there are. So 70 laps divided by 2 drivers gives us 35, and it's 25% of that.
Yep.
So it gives us 8.75. So say 9.
Yep.
We've just also had Troy Maguire go heavily into the fence out of the chicane, same spot as the Roughs, same situation, the McLaren snapping to the right and putting him into the wall.
Yeah, they've had a pretty unfortunate night. We've also got the bit of a surprise here. Christian Chandler in the Blackout of Motorsports has come in a new driver, I believe, Juha Hankikorpi. Sorry if I probably pronounced that wrong. From Finland. So you see the word Finland next to a driver, you generally expect some great things. But it's a early-ish stop. They get 28 laps. Actually, no, they can make it home from here. So this will be their last stop. They'll be filling it right up.
With it will be the last stop with 29 laps to go. We've got Rod Pinder waiting to come up, guys. Any of you want to have a chat with him?
Scotty would love to.
Trying to work out where he's from. Sorry,
He's
Rod.
from RRTV racing, guys. He should have been driving number 46, I think.
Rod Pinder with Guy Leach. Rod, welcome to the RRTV commentary box for round one of the SEK Queensland GT3 Championship. How's your night panning out so far?
Hi Scott, g'day guys. Yeah, really good so far. We had a really poor qualifying. Guy had a shocker. We had a couple of offs on the first lap and the last lap. It was only the middle lap that counted in quali, and it wasn't our best lap of the weekend. We were only 16th, but we're up in third at the moment. Everything's going really well, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, Rod, noticed that you're running with Guy this week. Is that going to be throughout the season? Because I know you used to run with Troy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was running with Troy last season, but he was hopeless, you know. Couldn't wait to get rid of him.
Fair enough.
No, of course not. No, it was great last season with Troy. We had a really good run, but he was keen to run the McLaren this season. So yeah, I've teamed up with Guy and we'll be running together for the whole season. So yeah, looking forward to that.
I was just about to touch on that, Rod. I noticed that the IRS for Fun guys, as a team, you guys have spread your vehicles throughout the BMW, the McLaren and the RUF. Not kind of working as a group and trying to get one lot of the cars fast throughout the team?
Yeah, as the name says, I guess, I race for fun. Everyone's got their preferences. So yeah, we were happy to run a split of cars. And we do occasional team practices together and we share a lot of information, so great team to be part of and everyone really helps each other out. But yeah, the name of the game is to have fun and we want to spread the variety around a bit, you know, have a few different cars, and we've also got different sponsors for each of the cars as well, which is new for this season, just to mix things up a bit.
Yeah, I had noticed you guys have got the Pagnian Imports come on board as a sponsor for the series and also for iRace for Fun. Do you want to tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, Pagnian's a great group, importers of sim gear, Fanatec gear and racing cockpit. They came on board with us last season, so they're a great sponsor of ours and also of the series. We're running a couple of cars under the Pagnian brand and a couple under Next Level Racing, which is also part of their branding. And I think the car that I'm running with Guy is under the SEK branding.
Yeah, Rod, it's Bernie here. I noticed on Facebook a couple of weeks ago the SEK Queensland the Enduro Karting Club had their endurance round. How did that go for them? Did they get a good number of guys turn up?
I'd love to tell you, Bernie, and give the guys a plug, because I know they run a really good series there, but I'm not part of it myself, unfortunately. I'm not up to speed with how that race meet went, but I do know a lot of the guys running it, and they run a great series, so if anyone's in the Queensland area and looking to run some karting events, look up SEK. It's a really good fun group from what I hear.
Yeah, definitely. And if you or Gavin or anyone's in touch with them, let them know to feel free to drop me a line on how the events go up there, so I can give them a bit more of a plug and try to get some more enduro karters up to that fantastic club. Alright, Rod, well, thanks for coming up, mate. Before we let you go, is there anyone you would like to give a shout out to? Yeah.
Just a guy up there. He's running a good stint at the moment, so keep it on the black stuff. And yeah, fingers crossed for the end of the race. I think everyone's still got a pit stop left to run. I think there's still a little bit of variety left to go in these last 25 laps. There'll be some people taking tyres, some people not. Stay tuned. I think it's going to be a good finish to the race.
Yeah, definitely. At the moment, we've got Guy Leach. He's running in third, so best of luck, and hopefully we'll see you on the podium at the end of the night.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the race.
Okay, guys, a bit of a race update. Brad Wooten is still in the lead. He's got a 7.4 second gap over Baden Reed. Having a look at their lap times, Brad is now 0.3 of a second faster than Baden at the moment. Guy Leach is in third, some 15 seconds down from the leader. Marcelo Rivera in the Darrell Lee Sticks McLaren is in fourth position, 21 seconds down. Colin Schweck in the number 91 Rossmans is in fifth position, 28 seconds down, but he's now starting to, I guess, Tim Ballinger's trying to round him up in the number 727 BMW.
Bit of a good effort here from the SEK Queensland number 35 rough of Matthew Dingham. Started out in P18, he's moved up 10 positions so far and still on the lead lap in P8. So that's a good effort by those guys. Looks like they've just stayed out of trouble and run their own race and moved up as the others have kind of fallen off the track and hit walls and whatnot.
Yeah, and I'm keeping my eyes on the new fella. Juha Hanni-Korpi, I won't get that. Car 67, the Black Adam Motorsport 67. Always interested when the new guys come along to see what they can come and do. And his opening lap of a 49 flat was extremely competitive, actually faster than our leader last lap. He's actually had to let our leader through for blue flag, so this lap will be a bit slower, but he's just made a position up passing Patrick Sturton, who I believe is new to the KRF team, so welcome along to him as well. So position change within the top 10.
Yeah,
and it looks like, oh sorry Bernie, Tom Jones is in the car now there, guys, too. He's done his pit stop.
Yeah, so cars that pit from here on in, they can get all the way home from here. So, yeah, it's a good strategy, I reckon. Whether you take tyres or not, I'm not sure it'll be worth it now. They're well over the halfway, but you know, each car and their setups obviously treats their tyres differently.
Do you think you'd lose a second? Sorry, Brenton. Do you think you'd lose a second a lap with not taking tyres over two stints?
Scotty, I wouldn't know, mate. To be honest with you, I know from what I understand that the tyre wear didn't seem that high here. Whether they can get along with it, we don't know. We've had a pretty quiet week in our team. I know with practicing and setups and things like that. It's been a really, really quiet week. We just had concentrating on something else at the moment, but yeah, once that car's up and on the straights, it's and if you're in the draft with another car, it's not hard to stick with them if you're within half a second lap pace of them.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I think it's roughly about 10 to 15 seconds to do for a tyre change. So if you were pitting twice, that's 30 seconds of time off of the track that you couldn't necessarily be actually making up on those that do change tyres if you don't.
Yeah, we saw at Silverstone last season, the guys there, I think it was Troy and Rod Pinder, they stopped there for a splash of fuel, but they also put on a set of 4 tyres, and they chased down Christopher Osborne for the win. So depends on the tyre drop-off really at the end of the race, is if it's worthwhile to do your 4 tyres or not, I think.
Here's a lot of the race here. Sorry, the Wooten car is coming Direct Clutch Motorsports reference in. So yeah, they did short fuel. Have to have short fuel. Yeah, they pitted on lap 30, lap 48 now, so just the 18 laps of fuel. It'd be great to keep your watch on this, Bernie, to see how long this pit stop is. It's not going to be needed to be a full tank because they'll get home on the 22 lap. So interested to see how much fuel, and Osborne will be back in the car.
Yeah, we're just having a look at a replay, folks, with Joseph Cardamine, number 68, Blackadder Motorsport, was running in 15th, but he's had a incident where he's gone into the wall coming off the chicane.
So Christopher Osborne, just watching this pit stop now, just getting tyres done, and he's away now. So it's going to be interesting. Sorry, go on, Adrian.
45.9 seconds for that pit stop, guys.
Yes, that's a long stop compared to their first one, obviously. So I think that's confirmation that, yeah, they did short fuel. Obviously, we know they did because only doing that 18 lap stint. But the most important for him here is he's come out in clean air. So we can see, we know what Chris can do. He can punch out qualifying lap after qualifying lap. So a lot of the races here, in comparison with where the other car is of Baden Reed, who's got a little bit of traffic in the Element Motorsports. Yeah. So yeah, even if he pitted now, which probably wouldn't be the worst idea to get some new tyres on there, he wouldn't need to take quite as much fuel on, I wouldn't think. So Baden was originally 17 seconds down outside of 10 seconds down outside of those pit stops, and he got it down to just under 6, so he made that 4-second gain. Now, interested to see if that 4 seconds, how important that is when he comes out the stop.
Well, at the moment, Chris is 36.7 seconds behind the leader at the moment.
Timmy Ballinger's pitting as well. He was in 6 in the TD Racing BMW. So Timmy's super impressive of the last few seasons. He's a guy who's really stepped up, and personally, I think he's made a massive improvement in his driving, and it's great to see him. Another new team, I think he was Redback Racing originally. Bernie, you'd be able to clear that with me, and then went his own way and with another team, and unless it's just different sponsor or different naming, it's another new team now.
Yeah, Tim was with Redback Racing, but he left our team at the end of last season to join that new team. So he's definitely coming on strong, and it's great to see tonight he's not having any internet connection issues.
Yeah, Bernie, I can confirm he's changed provider and has not had a problem since he's moved over to the new provider, and enjoying the racing at the moment without any drop in connection. And I believe they did a 40-second stop, so they put in the least amount of fuel so far, guys, I think.
So to me, the race is obviously between the Direct Clutch and the Element Motorsports. Crossed the strike the first time from Osborne's first lap, with 1:03 behind. So that's the number we're going to keep our eye on, how much that number comes down now that we know that Osborne's a quick stick. We know that. We also know he's on brand new tyres. So I'm expecting that time to come pummeling down, but whether it comes down enough between now and when Element make their pit stop and come out.
It looks like Marcelo's got a bit of company out there with the sister Evolution Racing Australia McLaren shadowing him at the moment, Brenton.
Yeah, I'm actually just looking to see how that happened, whether Jones is... Yeah, Jonesy's had his pit stop on lap 44, as we discussed that before, so yeah, two's company, I guess, three's a crowd, but for us, in the race one, like I said, we've hardly had any track time whatsoever, so for us was just trying to get our two main teams, which you see in front of you now, the GT1 and GT2 teams, just trying to get them maximum points out of, I don't think they were ever chasing the race win today. I don't think it's the right car for it as well, but if these boys can get one of them in the top 5 and both in the top 10, we'd be super happy with that. The Darrelly Chocolate Sticks McLaren is showing its head, so that's what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely, and the cameraman's definitely liking to focus on those two cars at the moment. It looks like we're getting a bit of a crowd in the green room, folks, so we should bring a couple of guys up for a bit of a chat. Have we got any volunteers, or should I take the next interview?
Oh, we can have a chat with Timmy Ballinger if you want. Yeah, drag him up here, we'll have a chat.
Okay, I'll bring Tim up, but then we need to bring Michael up after that because he's been waiting quite a while down here.
Timmy Ballinger, welcome to race 1 of the SEK Endurance Championship here for the GT3s. You're with Redback Racing TV. Got Bernie, Scotty, myself and Adrian with you. Mate, actually just having a bit of a chat about you and your new team. Mate, it's a great looking livery. What can you tell us about the new team?
Oh, well, lucky enough to put the new team together, and I noticed on the forum that Kurt was looking for a driver, was able to get Pat in to put us in the second car, and yeah, the team's only new, we've all come together well, and yeah, we're doing the best we can and see how we go.
Up to 7th at the moment, just had your last pit stop. Obviously not going to need another stop today. So what do you reckon the watermark is here? Top 5?
Yeah, we're hoping to finish in about 5th. If we can do that in our first race as a full team, we'll be absolutely stoked. I see the other boys run about 17th. They've had a couple of problems, but they'll get there.
And tell us a bit about the team. There's got sponsors on board. You got Bridgestone, or is that just the livery that you're running?
Oh, just the livery, mate, just to jazz it up a bit for the cameras and make it look all nice and sexy for you. But yeah, no, like I said, we're only a new team. We're very young together, and we've been working on setups during the week, and they've all come together brilliantly, so we're stoked.
And your race tonight, any drama so far? Looks like it had a little issue with Aaron in the first stint. Your second stint seemed to be really, really good. You must be happy with that.
Oh, the biggest thing I'm happy about, mate, is I didn't drop out for the first time in 10 weeks. But yeah, no, traffic was a bit hectic. New track for everybody. I think everyone's just getting used to driving it. But yeah, we sort of got done over a bit in lap traffic, but we'll get it back.
And tell us a bit about Aaron, your teammate. Is he any relation to Chris, do we know?
Oh, I don't think so, but he, the way he's going, he probably should be a cousin or something. He's getting there with the speed.
And your thoughts for the rest of the season? Round 1, long way to go yet. What's the expectations?
Given the way the BMW's outgunned by the rough at the moment, anywhere in the top 10 will be stoked. But yeah, we're just going to get together as a group and improve and just see where we can end up. And yeah, no real expectation. Anytime we finish in the top 10, we'll be happy. And
that's my next question: is the BMW? You went into this season with a clean sheet. Could have chosen any car. What made you go with the BMW?
I've been driving it now for 6 months, and I can set the thing up to get what we want out of it. So yeah, rather than trying to learn a new car, new team and everything, we went with the car we had, and it's something we know. And yeah, there'll be tracks it's good on. This one here, I think we're a little bit outgunned, but you know, get to somewhere like Spa, it should come into its own again.
Yeah, mate, a really solid job so far. And yeah, we've got what have we got? 18 laps to go now. So, mate, yeah, strong performance. A top 5 performance, as you said. If you get that result, would be an excellent performance for the first up race. So, mate, good job so far. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
Oh, just a shout out to all the boys at TD Racing. Big thank you to RRTV. Big thank you to SEK Queensland, Pagnum Imports, and all the sponsors of the series. And very big thank you to RRTV and all you boys in the commentary box for making what we do more enjoyable.
Well, good on you, Timmy, mate, and good luck for the rest of the race, and also in particular to your team and the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks, mate. And yeah, like I said, we're just stoked we didn't drop out for the first time in 10 weeks and loving it.
Oh, Timmy, still a bit to go yet, mate. Don't put the mockers on yourself, mate.
I don't have to get back in the car. If it craps itself now, I don't care.
That's Tim Ballinger. Thanks for that, mate. So, yeah, doing really well. Probably aiming for a top 5 position, I would imagine, for this race. So, yeah, awesome performance so far.
Hi Michael, welcome to RRTV's commentary box. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't look like you boys are out there having a run tonight.
No, I've had a few technical issues with my computer prior to the race and just decided to withdraw instead of dragging it on and dropping out, or else glitching out through the race and causing somebody else a headache.
Yeah, fair enough. It's been one heck of a race, that's for sure, tonight, with a lot of action. So have you been watching the race, and what's your take on it?
Certainly
Hang on,
has
sorry,
it.
before you keep going, we've got an issue. Our second car, Baden Reed, for the Element Motorsports, has had a disconnect, unfortunately, so that is mightily unfortunate. He was actually leading the race, unless he's pit stopped. Hang on, I better check that. Sorry, Mick, keep going. I just saw Baden's name drop out.
No, I'll confirm with you now, Brenton. The car is in the pits, and we've had Baden Reed received its output, so he's looked like he's lost, and they're now in 14th spot, and Gary is trying to get into the car, so maybe they're doing their stop and see where they end up, but that's a sad shame for those boys.
Yeah, it definitely is, because Baden was leading the race up until that disconnect, so hopefully they can sort that out and continue on. Sorry about that, Michael.
That's okay.
Getting back to you, what's your take on tonight's race so far?
It's different. Honestly, I had a few preconceptions of what the race is going to be like after seeing what some of the real life GT races are around here, but it's been a good race. Like, cars are sort of relatively evenly matched in speed wise, so it's good. Tyre life is a lot better than what I would have thought it would have been, and yeah, it's a close battle ultimately. Like in a few little battles through the pack, it's a good race.
Yeah, it's definitely had a lot of action in it, that's for sure, and it looks like the boys have settled down a bit, but earlier in the race it was getting quite hectic. So looking to next week, do you think you'll be able to race, or are you going to be out for a little while?
No, I'll be back up and running next week, doing the sprint series as well as the endurance series, so hopefully I'm aiming for about a top 5 finish for within both series. Just definitely get a few more miles under the belt. Mainly concentrating on the GT3 this season to promote the brand. We have a few promotions coming up with Darrell and Sticks, and hopefully with a couple of the endurance races we may have a guest driver driving with us.
We need to talk.
I think we could assume who that could be, boys, because we had a special couple of drivers last week, and we know he signed with the Works McLaren team, so I'm pretty certain I know who it is. And he finished, I think he finished 3rd today, didn't he, down at Simmons Plains?
Certainly did.
Just keep denying. How's the weather over there, Adrian?
Yeah. No, I certainly did, and I'm currently watching on the iPad via mobile internet, and texting me all the time in regards to it. So yeah, hopefully if that deal comes together, it's going to be mega for us, and hopefully put us in a more of a winning position like we're set up wise.
So that's exciting news, folks. Released here first, we can expect Marcus Ambrose to be driving with Sticks McLaren.
Well done. Truth be known, that's why he's left the seat at DJR. He got a better offer.
He's probably getting paid more.
Well, yeah, that could be true too. we only pay by performance, and I'm sorry, Marcus, you might not be in the money this week.
I tell you what, though, we should be in the money this week with the performance we're doing tonight.
No, it's definitely a good way to start the season. Another brilliant coverage by RRTV. Definitely can't fault this. It's great promotion for the sport and just the brand in general, like SEK Queensland.
And the leading Sticks McLaren Mick on schedule, Marcelo Rivera, who did an outstanding long stint, 55 laps. Anthony Mantella is now in the car, so they're not going to come out in the lead, we know that, but it was a really good performance by Rowley, we know, just finished up on TV this week I think, but Anthony really thrown in the deep end tonight. He was not supposed to be teaming up. He's just been clipped pretty badly on the outlap by Rod Binder. He wasn't supposed to actually be in the car tonight. It was supposed to be Ben Smith in that car, so like I said, we had a few dramas, but yeah, Anthony's going to get a solid job done. He'll tell you himself he's not the fastest driver, but if he can get that car home in the top 3 now, maybe, that would be an outstanding performance.
Certainly will be. Like, the McLaren around here is definitely hard to drive. You have to be on the limit pretty much everywhere, especially around the Lesmos, to gain any form of time in a McLaren around here. And Marcelo's done a mega job, and like Anthony, he holds his own. He's definitely well worth the money we're spending on him. So it's a good combination. Like, it may not be as strong as, you know, some of the combinations we just throw together, but it's definitely a great combination.
Yeah, and I can confirm, guys, that was for position. So Rod Pinder's now up into third with Anthony in fourth position at the moment.
It's just a shame we lost the Baden Reed, Gary Hamilton Element Motorsports car. They were in for a cracking debut, and just looking at, yeah, we're not going to get the result yet because we've still got Schweck boys out in the lead. But would have been great to see what strategy would have worked there. It's the type of thing that teams and team managers remember as the season goes on. I know last Thursday night in the Star Mazdas, the ERA guys did a different type of strategy, which I believe would have worked, and I'm very confident other teams will copy that now as the season goes on. And as that worked the other night, well, different strategies will work here, and other teams do watch it. And I think it was the ANZ guys last year in a particular race didn't take tyres on, and that caught everybody out by surprise. So that's just that other element that's been brought into.
Well, around this track, I personally think around this track the tyres don't matter 100%. You've got a few hard braking zones, but there's a lot of lateral loading on the outside tyres, so, and it's not as hard on tyres. Like, the surface is rough, but the tyres should do 2 stints around here.
Yeah, well, didn't we have the TTR boys? They did a.
Sorry, TTR.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I think I said ANZ, TTR.
Yeah, they did. They went. A whole stint. Didn't put tyres on and then come through. So yeah, it's. I suppose it's come down to the track and how well you feel comfortable and what times you're actually laying down in it. Really, at the end of the day.
Interesting part here with the Colin Schweck Rothmans GT, 151.8 last lap. They're our race leader at the moment. They're just 33 seconds up on our second place car, the direct clutch. So I wouldn't think that lead is going to last. We're confident that it wouldn't. But whether they come out in front of, out in second place in front of the Pinder car in the other rough, so the roughs are looking like a clean sweep on the podium tonight. As I said, probably think the rough might be the favourite car, but there's definitely an opportunity for the Schweck boys to come in second.
Yeah, I don't want to put the mocker on you, either Brenton or your team, but Anthony Mansorella seems to be having internet connection issues. He's flashing in and out a little bit.
Well, that's what we nickname him. We nickname him the Flash. So, let's see what his ping is. His ping's only 66, so hopefully it's not too much. Hopefully things have settled down. Mate, it's one of those things, isn't it? We liken it to having a breakage in the car. It happens in real life, and it happens here as well. It's just one of those unfortunate things.
Yeah, it definitely is. But it's racing, as we've said. So, Michael, thanks for popping up tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, mate?
Yeah, Darryl and Stitch, they're primary sponsors for the GT3 series. Without them, we would be running as good as we are currently. Brenton O'Brien, the team boss, mentor, mentor to a lot of people in the team, keeping us a level headed at times.
You're an idiot.
Keeping us level, and just all around, just the guys that we've got on the team, they're absolutely a mega bunch. Always helping out with setups, and without them I wouldn't be doing as well as I've been doing, so yeah, thanks to them.
Yeah, fantastic, Michael. Thanks for popping up, mate, and hopefully we'll see you on the track next week with your brother.
You shall. Thanks, mate.
I'm going to have a chat downstairs, Mick. Hang on. Be back soon, Ben.
Okay, guys, there's 3 of us up here now, so I don't think Brenton can come back. So, looking at the race tonight, guys, how do you think the second half is going, and are we game enough to pick a winner yet?
Second half, yeah, the guys have finally got into a rhythm, I think, and picking a winner, well, I don't think we really need to work that one out, to be rude or blunt, but I think the direct clutch boys are going to probably take this one out again. Unfortunate to Gary and Baden. I think they would have been taking it up to them, but unfortunately, like we said, they had a dropout. But no, I'm enjoying the race. It was a bit hectic to start with, but the boys have settled down, and getting on with the job.
And what are your thoughts, Scott?
I'm going to tend to agree with Adrian on this. I think that once the guys got settled into the track and got a few, bit of gap and clean air between each other, that they were able to race a little bit more sensibly and keep the car on the track. As for a winner, I'm going to, I, to be honest, would have had my money on the Direct Clutch Motorsports car from the beginning. They've just got a real handle on this rough and they know how to drive it, and Christopher's obviously really good with strategy wise and that as well. I think it would have been a good battle with Braden, but unfortunately, you've got to stay in it to win it, really, don't you? So it's just one of those things that we have to put up with on simulator racing, is the occasional dropouts and whatnot, but hopefully they can still get their car to the end of the race and score some valuable points for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I'm just having a look at the times at the moment. Colin Schweck's in the 150s. Both Christopher and Rod Pinder are in the 149s. But if Colin comes out roughly around where Rod Pinder is, he could be fighting with Anthony Mansarella in fourth. So it'll be interesting to see where Colin comes out and whether they do a driver change when they do stop tonight.
Yeah, but looking at those times, are they going to pit? That's the question we've got to ask as well. We know that everyone's done a two-stopper, but are these guys going that slow to push to just do the single stop? That's the question we've got to ask, because those lap times are fairly slow, unless they didn't change tyres in the first stop. Well,
yeah, possibly, but I'm trying to think back of what lap these guys actually did pit. Did they get halfway? I'm not sure.
Yeah, unfortunately my overlay hasn't told me, Bernie. I'm sure you've probably got the same issue there. I've got 0 with a stupid pit number there, which doesn't add up. So we know they've changed, so who knows if they're going to come in again. Yeah, well, I've actually
got it. Team, sorry?
I've actually got it here, guys. Colin Schweck pitted on lap 30. So if they're going to go the whole distance, they're going to have done 40 laps in a single stop.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as I'm aware, the rough have they just dropped out? They've gone missing off my screen.
Yeah, they have dropped out.
The Schweck brothers have gone missing. Oh, no. I think this is going to drop out for them. But look, if they'd been able to keep it going, or they're back on. I don't think in the rough you can change your fuel mapping. I think only the BMW and the McLaren are the only two that you can change your fuel mapping with. And have they been rolling off the accelerator early into the corners to save that the extra laps that were needed to get them through on a one-stopper?
Well, they definitely dropped down 2 seconds a lap slower, so it looks like they're going to possibly have a stab at it, but whether you can get this rough around here for 40 laps with one tank of fuel, we're just going to have to wait and see. But I tell you what, if they do, they would have pulled off quite a good coup in this race tonight.
It'll be massive, because I don't think that any other guys nor teams would have expected something like this to happen. Or are they just trying to push themselves way up the order as far as they can and come in for a splash and dash, which they're in the pit now?
Yep, they've just answered it, so the guys are coming in, which is probably a good thing, because Colin's been having a heck of a time out there in that last lap with internet issues, so it'll be interesting to see if Timothy jumps in to take this car home.
Well, that could
keep an eye on this one, Ben, if we can.
I was going to say maybe the reason why they've come in is because of that issue with Colin. Maybe it's he is starting to have issues, but the pit stop is still going. Yeah, so it might have been a quick splash and dash for these guys.
Well, what we're going to be looking out for, though, Rod Pinder in the SEK Rough 46 has just gone through the Parabolica onto the straight now, so position gained here, so down from first, and also this Darrell Lee Sticks McLaren with Anthony Mantarella has gone through into a podium position as well, so yeah, I'm not sure that's worked. Didn't even get to see if they took tyres when I was watching position changes, but for a splash and dash, that did seem like a lengthy stop.
Yeah, well,
it did, Brenton, and they didn't take tyres either. And Timothy jumped out of the car and jumped back in the car, so they haven't swapped drivers.
Yeah, I'm just wondering that unfortunately Colin does seem to have a bit of a reputation, as we saw before, with his connection seemed to be dropping out. So it was Colin who pitted on lap 60, so they have had a driver change there. But yeah, as we saw with Colin's connection at the end there, whether it's, I'm not sure if they live together, we don't know, but Colin's obviously out of the car, Tim's in the car now, so it'll be interesting to see how they go out chasing down the Darrell Lee Sticks McLaren. What have they got? Probably the better part of 11 seconds, I would think, so we'll get the official timing when they go across the strike here on lap 61.
Yeah, I think it's probably...
Sorry,
Okay, now I'm going to have a talk, okay? So no one interrupt me. I was going to say it's probably a good thing if Colin did jump out of that car, considering they are in fourth and they don't want to risk that with any sort of disconnect. But saying that, Timothy is driving that car all over the track at the moment.
And it looks like he's losing time to fifth place at the moment as well, so he's going to have to be careful here that he doesn't lose too much time.
Yeah, definitely, but that pit stop's actually brought Anthony Mantarella and the Darrell Lee Sticks number 26 entry up into third position, so it was bad luck for Baden Reed to drop out, but Brenton, we can definitely see your team, Evolution Racing Australia, up on the podium at this stage.
And for that, as I said, restricted lap times this week due to commitments in the V8 series. But yeah, as we said, round one of the series, here to try and maximise the amount of points we can get out of the race, knowing that as the series goes on, the Evolution Racing Australia team will become more and more competitive each race. So yeah, happy where they are so far, and have probably made the most of the situation. We've also got the second car now in the 7th place. That's the Jones and Keane car. Again, Jonesy, we know what he can do in a GT3. It's famous in the SEK circles now. So these guys again have put in a really strong performance, and they'll be happy with this.
Yeah, definitely. It just shows the depth you've got in that team. That even when one of the guys that could have very well won this race dropped out, there's still the other two cars in the top 10 and running really well.
Yeah, and we've got the 7 laps to go for our leaders. Yeah, 10 seconds back from the Rothmans car in fourth with the Schweck boys, chasing down the ERA GT3 MP412C McLaren. There we go. So at 10 seconds, watching that lap time now, there'll probably be a change. Yeah, 2 secs there, Bernie. Yeah, still the 10 seconds. So good lap here by Anthony.
Yeah, he's just 3 seconds down on Rod Pinder, and no doubt he would be so keen if he can catch Rod to possibly give him a bit of a nudge, because as we saw coming out of the pits earlier, he did get a bit of a nudge when Rod passed. Nothing untoward there, I'm sure, just fighting for position. But at the moment, folks, 8 laps to go. We have Christopher Osborne out in front. He's also having a bit of connection issue out there. Rod Pinder in the SEK Queensland number 46 entry is in second, some 20 seconds down. Anthony Mantarella in the Darrell Lee Chocolate Sticks entry number 26 is in third. Timothy Schweck in the 91 Rothmans entry in fourth, and fifth is Aaron Osborne in the Bridgestone 727, sounds like a plane, BMW Z4. 6th we have Ewa Hanakopi for Blackadder Motorsport, number 67, and in 7th Tom Jones doing a fantastic job in the 2nd Evolution Racing Australia McLaren. 8th Richard Brookfield in the Pagnian Imports, number 35 Rough. We haven't seen much of them tonight, but they're definitely in the top 10. Adam Newton is 9th in the 222 Element Motorsports Rough. And rounding out our top 10, folks, is Martin Davis in the 666 Australian New Zealand Rough.
Alright guys, I can confirm with the Schweck boys here, Colin has said on YouTube there, they lost 15 seconds to the net, so definitely a net issue for the boys. So and they weren't planning to do a driver swap, but I think very wise to swap over and get Timothy in there. But geez, Timothy just dropped on me then too, so doesn't look too healthy at the moment for the boys.
Yeah, we're definitely getting internet connection issues throughout this race, but it just adds an extra element, I think, to these Enduros, and it's just hopefully making it more entertaining for the viewers out there. So I'm having a look. Oh, he's back. I had a worry there. Christopher Osborne disappeared for a while, and I thought he must have dropped out, but he's back. That lead now has stretched to 21.284 seconds with 7 laps remaining. I'd have to say this could be Christopher's race tonight unless something goes wrong with that car. If it does, don't blame me. There's no commentator's curse up here.
Yeah, we never have commentators curse, Bernie. It's always pretty good up here.
Yeah, it definitely is. So we're going to jump on board now, folks, with Christopher Osborne in the direct clutch services rough. Enjoy a lap around here and turn your speakers up and enjoy the sound of this this nice car.
Sorry, I just had some background noise. Yeah, I missed pretty much everything there. Sorry. I'm probably way off track here, but just things aren't exactly finalised here between 3rd and 4th. That gap's now down to 7 seconds between the ERA 26 car and Timothy Schweck. A 49.0 last lap for Schweck in that Rothmans GT rough, in comparison with the Manzarella's 49.7. So, you know, solid lap times here by the ERA car, no doubt. But just with that, I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure they took tyres on, but they did pit later. So 49.0, but that connection issue, that 15 seconds, that's going to cost them a certain podium and maybe, probably, a second step.
Yeah, having a look at that gap though, there's 7 seconds between the number 26 McLaren and the number 91 Rough, and another 5-6 seconds between them and Aaron Osborne. So we've only got 6 laps to go, so I can't really see them pulling that gap in unless they can do it over 1 second a lap.
Yeah, Mansell's got a bit of heat from behind with the Gary Hamilton car trying to unlap himself, and there Gary's got a good brain on his shoulders. We would imagine him and the Element Motorsports team won't do anything silly there. We know about the dramas they had early in the race, and it would have been a sensational finish. But they'll live to fight another day, and they'll still get themselves a respectable position. Not what they were chasing, but whether Gary is going to make the pass here on Manzarella, so that's just going to cost another couple of attempts here as they go into the first chicane. A 49.9 last lap for Manzarella, chasing him down with a 48.7, so it's 1.2 seconds just there. So that is well and truly on schedule for a possible position change in top 3. And what Manzarella really needs to try and do, Gary Hamilton, we know how quick he is, pole positioning for tonight's race. In fact, just try and stick with him. Even if you just get that 2 laps of staying with him, keep it clean, don't make mistakes, get that lap time down by 6-7 tenths. It's a big ask, but we're confident that Anthony can produce those lap times. Whether he can do it at the moment, that's the other question.
Yeah, well, having a look last lap, Rod Pinder was 4 tenths faster than Anthony, but saying that, Anthony can definitely see him now, so you know what it's like when a racing driver sees their opposition. They can normally pull out an extra half a second a lap easy.
Yeah, I don't think that's where the race is though, Bernie. I don't think the race is between second and third. I seriously think the race is between third and fourth, and Timothy Schweck's coming at Anthony pretty hard right now.
Just having a look at that, guys, and the tyre difference as well. So for the Anthony's car, he's looking at 9 laps older tyres compared to the Schweck team, which made their stop on lap 61.
Yeah, but they didn't take tyres in, if we remember from what we saw.
Yeah, I think
this is true. Too much action been going on.
With 4 laps to go, I don't think Timothy's going to pull that gap in. He's 4.7 seconds behind.
Yeah, don't underestimate this though, Bernie. He's just done a 48.8 Mansell at 50.4. So yeah, I'm going to say that I think come 1.5 laps to go, I reckon he'll get there.
Alright, even if he catches him, I don't think he'll pass him, but we'll see. 4 laps to go, I'm sure it will. We'll get our answers to this.
Well, it's just a common theme with the all the endurance racing we've seen, and not just the last season of the SEK, but also the Australian Endurance Championship as well, which I think there'll be a round coming up soon. Scotty, you can confirm that. But at the end of the race, there's always close finishes. It doesn't necessarily have to be for the lead, but anywhere within that top 5, there's always some cars, I say more than 2, maybe 3 or 4, that always produce that grandstand finish, and I reckon that's what we got for now. And Schweck, right at Lesmo 2's right on the edge there, actually using the track and more. He's really going to be knocking on the door of Mansarella, who's got that traffic with Maverick Benson in front of him.
It's going to be close to see what the gap is at the end of this lap, because he is closing fast.
It's 3.5 at the moment, the gap. So he's brought it down another second so far this lap. So he is closing it down, but geez, he's got to find a lot more, and unless he gets in the tow real shortly, then yeah, I'm almost with Bernie with this one. I think it's gonna be a bit too much to try and overtake him here in the last lap. And if I was a team manager, I'd be on the blow up. Make sure you don't let him through, because it's the last lap.
Well, I was just about to say, as a team manager here, I'm going to breathe a lot easier if my boy can get past Benson here cleanly and not drop too much time. And I think he's done that well. So a last lap of 50.2, not the greatest exit, must be said, compared to a 48.8, so another 1.4 seconds. Yeah, he's going to be knocking on the door.
One thing catching though and getting past is a different thing. We've seen that in the past where guys have managed to get on the back bumper of a car that they've been chasing down, but you've got to make that overtaken, you've got to make it clean. And we saw early in the race with Christopher Osborne, I think it was, that didn't make a clean pass, and he waited up and readdressed. So it'll be interesting to see if he can catch him, and 2, then if he can actually get the move done.
Oh, absolutely, and tight tracks like Oran Park and things like that, and Sonoma, the passing is so much more difficult. But here on that long pitch straight, you get yourself within 0.7 of a second or 0.7 of a second on that straight. You're in that draft and coming up to that first chicane. It's an absolute guaranteed hotspot for passing, isn't it? So there's certainly more opportunities on this track in comparison with a lot of other tracks for passing.
Yeah, well, Timothy can definitely see Anthony now in his sights. He's got one more lap car between him and that Darrell Lee Chocolate Sticks entry. So 2 laps to go, folks. It's starting to heat up.
And just with the 2 laps to go, I'm just going to change a little bit, if that's okay, Bernie, to the 28 sticks, Darrell Lee Sticks McLaren as well. Nathan Britton's in that car. Again, hadn't had much track time due to work commitments this week. Now this guy here started last on the grid, and again with some issues in joining the team through iRacing, which we'll get that sorted out. He's oh, don't do it now, Brito. You did. Oh, sugar. Oh, I've just now that is the commentator's curse.
Hey guys, sorry, Brenton. I'll just quickly get in here. I think the direct clutch boys are going to be tight on fuel by looking at the YouTube comments here, and yeah, it looks like it may be a bit tight for those boys. So we may be first place finish may not be on the cards if they run out of fuel.
Yeah, well, that gap's 17 seconds back to Rod Pinder. They're coming down the back straight now. Let's see what happens there as well, I guess.
Yeah, sorry, just while I was talking about Nathan Britton there, actually lost it out of the Ascari and absolutely binned it into a wall, but some miraculous way that car's been able to keep going. But what I was going to say, he was 15th at the time. He's flown solo tonight, so he has to be congratulated for that. The team entry said that you can go by yourself, 1 or 2 drivers, so he's gone by himself and he's going to be bringing it home maybe 17th to 18th, so fantastic job by him. But yeah, that's not where the race is right now.
Yeah, everyone's got to have a look at that. I think Gavin's put up there that you can do one endurance race by yourself and only one. That's it. So he's used his one and only there, Brenton. Need to check on the forums there. I'm pretty certain that's what it is.
Yeah, no, we're on top of that. That's not going to be an issue for Brito. He's going to be starting a new job soon, so his amount of Sundays is going to be a bit more restricted. So super happy to have him in the car and doing what he's doing. Does a lot of work behind the scenes for the ERA team.
Okay, guys, we're on to the last lap now, so let's wrap this broadcast up. We've got Christopher Osborne at the moment with a 16-second lead over Rod Pinder. We know Christopher could have fuel issues, so we'll keep an eye on that. We've also got at the moment Anthony Mansorella in the ERA, McLaren in third, with Timothy Schweck some 3 seconds down from him in fourth. Aaron Osborne at the moment is in fifth. So we'll ride with our leader at the moment, Christopher Osborne, as he's on this final lap. And let's hope he gets his car home without running out of fuel.
I think we could sort of tell that he's been really tight on fuel, especially the last 4 laps there, Bernie. 51, 50, 50, 50. So very slow, and I believe they've got a map 2 on that.
It could also be an incident count that they're worried about. Every 15 incidents, you do have that 5-point deduction. So they could be knocking on door, 13, 14 incidents or 28, 29 incidents. So it could be something like that as well. But anyway, let you call it, Bernie.
Yeah, so as Christopher Osborne, Direct Clutch Services Rough, comes across the line to win the Monza 400. Fantastic drive tonight. These guys were dominant for the whole race pretty much out there. They didn't have it their own way earlier on. But coming in second, the number 46 SEK Queensland entry with Rod Pinder behind the wheel comes home. And it looks like your boys safe in the Darrell Lee Chocolate Sticks number 26 entry. Anthony Mansorella third, followed by Timothy Schweck some 3 seconds down. He was pulling in over 2 seconds a lap, or a second a lap. He just could not make that gap. Fifth, Aaron Osborne brings their entry home. As we can see, the leader doing donuts on the track while everyone's finishing. That is class. Causing chaos by the looks of it. 6 is Ewa Hankorpi in the Blackadder Motorsports entry. 7th, Tom Jones is coming around now to take the checkered flag in the number 99 Darrell Lee ERA entry. And 8th, we haven't said much about him tonight, folks, but Richard Brookfield in the number 35 Pagnian Imports Rough looks pretty safe in coming home in 8th. And they're the only ones, guys, that are on the lead lap. So quite an interesting race tonight, guys. It had a lot of action earlier on. lot of carnage and a few twists and turns throughout the night. What did you think of the race, Adrian?
Yeah, Benny, it was one of those things. I think brand new track for everyone. It was a little bit messy at the beginning for everyone there. And then just to seeing how well the boys actually started to settle in and get control of the racetrack and their driving. So definitely interesting with the fuel strategies as well. Brought out different things there. Plenty of speculation from us as well, I suppose, but awesome stuff. And look, unbelievable stuff here at Monza tonight.
Yeah, it certainly was. As we can see, Christopher continues celebrating his win with more donuts, and my hat goes off to him. This guy's been pretty crook, and we know he's under the weather and quite sick, so well done to him for bringing that win home. Having a look at the finish, guys, I'll throw to you first, Brenton, before the guys come up for an interview. Who do you think driver of the day would be?
Well, it's a team event, isn't it? So I'm not going to outline a driver of the day. However, the team of the day, well, wow, yeah. The Element Motorsports boys, we know the Direct Clutch Motorsports won. Congratulations to them. I've got to say a special mention to Gary Hamilton and Baden Reed for the Element Motorsports. What they did tonight, it's the first time they've driven together, put the car in a great position on the grid with pole position, led the race. It would have been massively interesting to see what would have happened, what could have happened, shoulda, woulda, coulda. We know that they didn't get the job done through a disconnect, but as a team, brand new on the block, I'd have to give it to them.
Fair enough. And Scott, have you got a driver or team of the day?
I do. I'm going to put this one out to the number 46 SEK Queensland IRFF Racing Rough, who battled up from 16th position up into second. So I think clearly they've drove smart. They put in some good lap times. There was some competitive, I think, lap times that they did, and they were able to stay out of trouble, and that's worked for them. And yeah, P2 after 400 kilometres is nothing to be sneezed at.
Yeah, definitely. And what about you, Adrian?
Oh, I'm going to go different again, guys. I think TD Racing with Tim Bellinger and Aaron Osborne finishing 5th, qualified 10th, so it's good to see those guys there. And Tim's been suffering internet issues for about 10 weeks now, and he's always been up there or thereabouts, and finally got in the top 5 result there, so awesome job by that team this evening.
So we've got 3 different ways so far, so I get the deciding vote, which is the way it should be, I think. I'm going to go with the number 46 SEK Queensland rough entry for their great drive tonight. So I'd say congratulations to SEK Queensland for team of the day. So fantastic. Hopefully we're going to get some guys up here soon to have a chat with us, but while we're waiting, folks, having a look at the week to come for RRTV, we will be back again tomorrow night live for the Monday night Skip Barber Strength of Field race. Thursday night, join us for SMAC 2.0 or the Star Mazda Australian Championship. We have 2 splits now. One's live broadcast, the other one will be delayed broadcast, and we have anywhere up to 53 drivers competing for that championship this season, so that has absolutely exploded. Next weekend is Easter, so I'm not sure if the SEK Queensland will be going ahead or not. If it is, we will be broadcasting. If it's not, I'm going to be drinking beer with my dad, and yeah, so that's your week ahead for RRTV. I'd like to also say, while we're waiting for these interviews, if they're going to come, if you liked the video tonight, definitely like it and tell your friends. I've got a target or 400 subscribers for YouTube, and so we need to get the word out. So if you like your sim racing, you like what we do, definitely let people know. If you don't like what we're doing, just leave a courteous comment on what we're doing wrong, and I'll see to it that we improve. Okay guys, we'll give the drivers another minute and then I'm going to end this broadcast. So is there anything you'd like to talk about while we're waiting?
Yeah, I was just having a think about the series, and while it's up for a change in terms of we've got endurance rounds and now sprint rounds, I think overall that taking out of round one, we can look that the Direct Clutch Motorsports team aren't going to have this series all their own way. They've definitely got a team, the Elements Motorsports team up there that looks like it can take it to them. And I know this is only a new track and everybody's learning it, but you know, if that's, you know, everybody was on the level playing field tonight in terms of being a new track. Now we can go to, you know, tracks that we've been to, and I believe the next round is at Donington, which is a sprint round. So we've all been there before. It'll be interesting to see how the drivers go in their own races against each other.
Yeah, well, I think the way it's going to work, Scott, is the driver A of the team will have to drive one race, and I think driver B will have to drive the other race. So I'm not sure if they'll actually be driving against each other in that event.
No, I believe that the way it will work is we'd probably have to get Gavin up here to confirm it, but so race one will be run by your driver A, whoever you put in as driver A, and race B or the second race will be run by the driver B. Now, I believe that it will be you enter a server and you have a race and then you leave, and then they put up another server and you enter like that. It's the way that I believe it's going to get done, or it would be needed to be done like that. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, you might have a fast guy up against a slower guy, and then the next race you might have a slow guy up against a fast guy, or we might see two fast guys in, you know, the server A, and then two, you know, the second rate kind of drivers in the second server. So it'd be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully if they're running next week we will see how that works. But anyway guys, I'm going to wrap this broadcast up. So folks, thank you for watching tonight's Monza 400. I hope you've enjoyed it. On behalf of Adrian Jarvis, Brenton O'Brien, Scott Stevens, I'm Bernie Wiemers, and you've been watching RRTV.